All right, you guys. So here we are, episode 11 for Clone Wars. Very, very cool, guys. We are right on the cusp of Order 66. So I'm expecting this to be a very heart-wrenching episode right here. It's about 1:35 in the morning. So my emotions are going to be everywhere. It's so cool to see the parallels between this particular arc and what's going on in Revenge of the Sith at the moment. And as I mentioned, we're right on the cusp of Order 66, and we're going to get to see it through the eyes of Ahsoka and possibly Maul as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what these two were going through compared to what is going on with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda right now, with them all experiencing Order 66 at this moment. Let's go ahead and get into this episode 11, Shattered, for Clone Wars. Let's do it, guys. Lucas Limited Production, Star Wars The Clone Wars in red with the ominous music. Part 3, Shattered. I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi.
The dark side of the Force surrounds the Chancellor.
To a dark place, this line of thought will carry us. Great care we must take.
All of this straight from Revenge of the Sith. Very cool.
I understand.
I did my duty as a citizen.
Not as a Jedi.
No, not yet. Actually, I was hoping to speak with General Skywalker.
I sent him to inform the Chancellor that General Grievous has indeed been located on
Woo. We know that scene
Master
from Revenge
Kenobi?
of the Sith.
Ahsoka, more to say, have you? A message for Skywalker, perhaps?
No, Master. Thank you. I'll tell him myself when I see him.
You didn't tell them what Maul said about General Skywalker.
So Rex knows.
No, I didn't.
Look how they got Maul. Look! Like he's in carbonite, but that's not carbonite. Wow. Look at that. That is so cool. The Red Troopers. I want to say Shock Troopers, I believe. Everything is kind of slowly escalating to this moment.
Something on your mind?
It's coming,
As a
and my
Jedi,
heart is pounding.
we were trained to be keepers of the peace.
He feels it. Look, listen. Oh! She senses the moment. Oh, she's sensing the moment with Anakin. Oh.
Anakin.
Oh.
Execute Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, Lord
Oh my
Jesus.
God. That's Rex. No.
Rex, it's Anakin. I feel like something terrible has happened.
Uh-oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Rex?
No. I'll do it.
Rex, what's happening?
Stay back!
Rex is fighting it.
Find him. Find him. Boss. Find him!
Shoot. Shoot. Man, look.
Rex!
No. Shoot. Man. Oh my goodness. Oh. Rex said he didn't betray his Jedi. Technically, he didn't. Oh my God.
I want you to go to the detention level.
Execute Maul. Yes, sir.
Wow.
All right, then.
Execute Maul. This is gonna be crazy. You know this is gonna be crazy right here. Oh, his hands are. But he doesn't need his hands. Unless Ahsoka saves him. She did. Ahsoka saved him. Look at that. Whoa.
Don't make me regret this.
Maybe we are gonna get that team up.
You survived.
Is this your doing? Choose your words carefully.
No, it was not my doing. I do not know what has occurred, but surely you have felt it. The voices crying out. The death.
The clones turned against me. Even Rex. I don't know why. They just suddenly weren't themselves.
Brilliant. I was not privy to my master.
See, I knew Maul didn't know about Order 66.
Now I see it. He turned the Jedi's own army against them. Well, you've done the right thing by coming to me. Only together can we survive this. Now, if you will follow my lead.
You don't understand. I'm not here to team up with you. I need a diversion, and you're it. Now go cause some chaos.
Damn.
It's what you're good
Woo!
at.
The prisoner has escaped. There's no sign of Tano or Maul. Destroy the escape pods and increase security on the
Wow.
hangar decks. Run away, sir.
Destroyed the escape pods. Woo! This is intense.
R7, patch into the central computer. Bring up every secure file on Clone Trooper CT-5555.
CT-5555. Is that fives?
Okay, Rex. What am I looking for?
Oh, look at that. They're going back. Ahsoka's gonna figure everything out.
Independent investigation confirms that the clone trooper CT-5555 experienced a malfunction with his inhibitor chip.
I already know this report's gonna fall on deaf ears. But I owe it to Fives to record what I saw. I'm not sure I believe it myself, but there's a possibility that the inhibitor chips the Kaminoans put inside us have a purpose that we don't yet fully understand.
Oh. Look at Maul. Getting his Vader moment. Getting his Vader moment. Oh my God. This is awesome. This is awesome. Oh no. Oh. Oh. Ooh.
Did you seal the doors? Trooper, if you read this, seal the door. We want to redirect his approach. Over.
Maul was terrifying right there.
Rex, I think I know what's happening. I saw your report on Fives. It isn't your fault.
I'm right here.
Mm.
Okay, let's get him to the medical bay. See if you can find the inhibitor chip the report talked about. R7, anything? I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
One with the Force and the Force is with me. Shoot it in
I
me.
am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force Force is with me.
You found it? R7, get him under and remove that thing. I don't know if it will work, but if it doesn't, we're dead anyway. Open the door.
Go, Soaky. Get it, so.
The door! Gigi, the door! Rex? Are you okay?
Yeah, kid. I'm okay. Sorry for what happened earlier. I almost killed you.
How widespread is this?
Ahsoka, it's all of us. The entire Grand Army of the Republic has been ordered to hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights.
Wow. 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 Woo! That was a really, really good episode. Super, super amazing episode right there. And not even so much for its actions, just purely getting to see Order 66 through the eyes of Ahsoka. Ahsoka having to figure this out. Watching Maul just unleashed. And this was truly Maul unleashed. I don't think we've seen this type of power display from Maul in any form of media. It was very much like the Vader moment from Rogue One, very much so, if not even better, because limbs got chopped off. Vader did cut people in half and pin them onto the roof. But he also pinned people to the roof as well. That was a really good sequence right there with Maul. He was terrifying at that particular moment right there. So that was really, really cool, guys. So let's get into this review of this particular episode right here, guys. Really, really fun episode. Gut-wrenching episode as well. We obviously start this episode off with Maul captured, and we have this conversation between Ahsoka and Bo-Katan. We see the Republic actually moving out from Mandalore. I don't know if all of the forces pulled out, but we know that Ahsoka's team did pull out, or the team that was guarding Maul, bringing Maul back to Coruscant, pulled out, and we see Maul encased in this almost like carbonite-like imprisonment, but I guess it's specifically made to hold force wielders. This is something that was probably used during the Jedi and Mandalorian War. I'm sure this is how they held their Jedi captive, and we actually get to see one. I don't know. This is probably something that was mentioned in Legends or something that was seen in Legends. I'm not fully versed in Legends. I just know bits and pieces of Legends, but I'm assuming this is something that you would find in one of the Legend books. And that may speak on the Jedi and Mandalorian War, and obviously we get to see it here canonized here in this particular episode with Maul being encased in it. It looks really, really cool. Has all kinds of Mandalorian markings on it, Mandalorian helmet on it. Just looks absolutely cool, and looks like it is something that would hold a force wielder. So that was absolutely cool to see that. So we see Maul being loaded onto this transport, and the transport then going off to one of the command starships, and Ahsoka and Rex are on their way to deliver Maul to the Jedi so they can question him. While we're on board, we get the meeting that takes place with Mace and Yoda and some of the other council members, and this meeting, all of the dialogue from this meeting is taken directly from Revenge of the Sith, just to let us know where we are in the timeline of Revenge of the Sith. And then Mace Windu mentions that Anakin had to tell Palpatine that Obi-Wan has defeated General Grievous. So shortly after this this meeting, we get this moment with Ahsoka, and she's just peering off into the hyperspace. As the ship is flying through hyperspace, she's just peering out into it, and she gets these series of random voices taken again right from Revenge of the Sith. All of this dealing with the moment of Mace Windu and Anakin, and the battle that has taken place with Palpatine and Mace Windu, and we hear the moment where Anakin turns, basically cutting off Master Windu's arm, and the Emperor hitting him with the mace with the lightning and flying and throwing him out the window. So we hear all of those sound bites from the movie. Ahsoka's actually sensing this particular moment, and then right after that, we get the Emperor giving out the order for Order 66, actually speaking to Rex directly, actually on a hologram, but speaking to Rex, and that was just a chilling moment to see that Rex actually got the command directly from the Emperor. So that was just a really, really chilling moment right there. And then after this, we see Rex trying to fight the command. Actually, he's literally shaking, dropping his helmet and shaking, trying to fight the command. At this moment, Ahsoka is running towards Rex, not realizing that the order has been given, not knowing what the order even is, but she's running to him to tell her that she senses that something's wrong with Anakin. Then she kind of realizes that something's not right with Rex, and Rex is pointing his weapon at him, but she can see that he's struggling. And the other troopers begin to fire, and Ahsoka goes into defensive mode, and we get this really awesome sequence where Ahsoka is fighting back the blasters with their sabers, and just beautifully shot moment right there with Ahsoka as she's fighting off her clones and Order 66, and she's able to escape through the ceiling, through the ventilation systems, as she's wandering through the ship. After this, we see that Order 66 has fully taken over Rex, and Rex is right into command mode, and he's on the hunt for Jedi now. He's on the hunt for Ahsoka, and he gives the order to have Maul killed. Chilling moment right there as well. So the Order 66 is not just limited to Jedi, but we also see that any Force user, whether they're Jedi or not, is deemed for termination, as again Rex gives the order to have Maul terminated. So we get a couple of what I believe are shock troopers, the red shock troopers, who are going in, and they're going to execute Maul. They open up the contraption that is again Mandalorian and is made to hold Force users, and I mean Maul is dead to rights here. I mean if Ahsoka doesn't show up, he's a goner. As I had mentioned, Ahsoka shows up, and she takes on the two shock troopers, kills them, and she frees Maul. And I'm thinking, my thought is, maybe we are going to get the team up we were hoping that we would get. But it would make sense that she would not team up with him, because that would not be consistent with future events that we know from Rebels. But what Ahsoka is doing is she's using Maul as a diversion to keep the other clones busy while she tries to figure out what's going on, and if she can get her hands on Rex. She lets Maul loose, and as I mentioned earlier, we get a moment where Maul just is wreaking havoc on the clone troopers, very similar to Vader's moment in Rogue One, where he's taking on the rebels and just mauling through them, except Maul doesn't have a lightsaber to cut through these guys. He's simply using the Force and using it to its maximum. He's pulling panels off, using them as shields, and then also using the panels to also crush uh, the clones between the panels, flying the panels at them. Just awesome. Removing their weapons from their hands, just as Vader did in that particular scene. Maul, as I had mentioned, was absolutely frightening in that particular scene. I think that's the scariest I've ever seen Maul. So I mean, what Clone Wars has done to redeem the character of Maul is absolutely outstanding. I mean, not only did they give him a beautiful, beautiful story arc that is almost as tragic as Vader, if not as tragic as Vader's arc, but they also give him moments similar to Vader where he's absolutely terrifying, as we saw right there in that little sequence where he's taken on the clone troopers. So beautifully shot, wonderful moment from all, and I enjoyed that moment specifically. One of my favorite moments of any Clone Wars episode, guys. So I really enjoyed that. So while all of this is going on, Ahsoka creates a diversion where she's able to capture Rex and corner him with a couple of R2 units that she sequestered to help her in capturing Rex by sealing off certain compartments and sealing him away from the rest of the clone troopers. So she gets her hands on him. She gets him stunned, or she gets him stunned and knocked out. And she's able to get the way cleared for her to get to the medical bay and try to figure out what is going on with Rex. And then also one other part that I skipped over. She did research the files on Fives, which is really, really cool. It takes us back to that specific episode. I forget what season it was. More than likely, I believe it was season 6, where Fives discovers the chip, but it's all kind of swept under the rug a little bit, and no one ever really gets to put 2 and 2 together. But now Ahsoka is using that information. She also used Anakin's code to access some of this information, which is absolutely cool as well. I thought that was a really nice touch as well. She accesses this information, and she kind of understands why Rex and the rest of the clones are turning on her, because there is a chip that's giving them this specific command to do so. Maul also reveals this to Ahsoka as well in his conversation. But as I had thought, I wasn't 100% sure that Maul knew specifically about Order 66. But in this episode, he kind of revealed that he didn't quite know how the Emperor was going to do this, but it's obvious after he found out what Ahsoka had told him that the plan was to have the clones turn on their Jedi commanders, and that was what the grand plan was. And Maul actually laughs at the genius of that particular plan. But again, it does demonstrate that he wasn't fully versed on what the plan was. He was basically putting things together, just as Ahsoka now is just now putting those same things together to see that, Maul was right. However, I don't believe she's still able to bring herself to believe that Anakin has turned to the dark side, even though she did experience that sequence that took place in the Emperor's chambers, where Anakin actually makes his turn. Getting back to Rex, so she has to basically they're not able to find this chip that's in Rex's head. They're searching, doing a brain scan, and they're not able to find this chip. Then Ahsoka kind of uses the Force to kind of search through Rex's head, I'm assuming. She uses the chant that's very familiar to us from Rogue One, with Sharit Inwi constantly chants, "I'm one with the Force, and the Force is. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me." And even Rex starts to chant this as well. And at that moment, the chip is discovered. So then Ahsoka tells the R2 units to get him under and get that chip out of his head. So while this is going on, the other clones are breaching the door, ready to break through. Ahsoka commands one of the droids to get that door sealed as soon as they get it open. She gets into defensive position to kind of fight off the clones and their blasters, and she actually gets her little moment where she's taking on the clones, fighting them back, fighting them off, using the Force to push them back and slam them up against the door. But they're fiercely fighting her off as well. I think they even get a shot and knock one of her sabers out of her hand, if I'm not mistaken. Just as that at that moment, we kind of see Rex reaching for his weapon, kind of not sure if he's going to target Ahsoka or if he's going to help Ahsoka right there. I kind of figured that he was gonna help her. I understand what they were trying to do right there is to try to make us think, is he going to kill her? Is he going to kill the clones? But since we know that the chip was removed from his head, if you guys didn't know, and spoiler guys, this was something that was told to us in Rebels, as Rex does make an appearance in Rebels, so we know the chip was removed. So my assumption right there was the chip has been removed and now he's going to help Ahsoka fend these guys off, and obviously that's exactly what he did. He blasts a couple of fires, fends the guys off. They're able to get that door sealed back up. So once Rex fires off and helps Ahsoka fend off the clones, we get this brief conversation with Rex and Ahsoka where Rex reveals that it's a widespread and all of the clones have been ordered to hunt down the Jedi. And then we're left with the cliffhanger of the clones getting ready to breach the door again, with Rex and Ahsoka sitting in this medical bay with all of these droids. So they're basically trapped on the ship because, remember, Rex ordered them to eject all of the escape pods, and now they're going to have to fight their way through this ship with all of the clones who are obviously under the orders of Order 66. So it's going to be a really, really interesting final episode that we're going to be getting actually this upcoming Monday on May the 4th. Which obviously, guys, if you don't know, is Star Wars Day, guys. So there's going to be a lot going on May the 4th. So you definitely want to come back and check out your boy. I will be doing a reaction to that final episode of the Clone Wars, and we'll also be doing a reaction to the first episode of the behind-the-scenes look of The Mandalorian. There is a whole bunch of events that will be going on from May the 4th. So you definitely want to come back and check out the channel and see what is going on for May the 4th. I really, really enjoyed that episode a lot. Again, very eerie, very gut-wrenching, and we got some amazing stuff from Maul, getting his little Rogue One Vader moment there, where he was absolutely frightening. And then we also got a perspective of Order 66 through the eyes of Ahsoka and Rex, which was absolutely interesting. And as I mentioned, very cool, where Ahsoka is going through the records of 5 and how he discovered what was going on with the chip in his head and how it was kind of swept under the rug. So really, really good episode, guys. I'm going to go ahead and score this episode, and I'm going to give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. Again, excellent action, excellent dialogue, excellent perspective on events that we already knew about, but didn't see from other perspectives, again, through the eyes of Ahsoka and Rex. The conversation between Rex and Ahsoka, even their touching moment where they were saluting each other, and now we have this moment where they both saved each other's lives. Ahsoka saving his life by having the chip removed, and then him coming to and saving her life, helping her to fend off some of the clones who are going after her. So a very, very enjoyable episode. I even got, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but it even felt like kind of like Aliens a little bit, where they're kind of trapped on Star Cruiser, and you have all of these clones who are after Ahsoka as if they're the aliens, and Ahsoka is kind of playing Ripley trying to escape from the alien. So kind of got that little bit of a vibe there as well. And then again, as I had mentioned, the moment with Maul just wreaking havoc was absolutely awesome. And Ahsoka's plan, let him loose and have the clones deal with him as opposed to them just hunting her down, I think was an excellent idea on Ahsoka's part. So really, really cool stuff. Things to look forward to in the final episode, which again going to be premiering on Monday. So again, guys, you want to come back here and check out my reaction to that particular episode. I'm assuming we're going to get that at midnight on Sunday. So my reaction should be up 6 o'clock a.m. that morning. So guys, please come back and check me out. But what I'm looking forward to in that particular episode, obviously, we have this cliffhanger where Ahsoka and Rex are trapped with the clones on this cruiser. We do know that they, and this is spoiler for anyone who has not seen Star Wars Rebels, but these two characters do make appearances further down the line in the timeline, as their appearances in Rebels will dictate. So we do know that they will survive this, but how they survive it will be interesting to see. We also know, again, from Rebels, because Maul does make an appearance in Rebels, that he will survive this particular moment as well. How he does it, we don't know. And we also know that he will go on to, I believe, continue to run his crime syndicate as depicted in Solo. I don't believe those events in Solo have transpired at this point of the timeline, but we do know later on, I believe about 20 or 30 years from now, Maul will be stranded on the planet of Malachor for some particular reason, and that will be the next time, besides his appearance in Solo, that we will be reintroduced to Maul in the Star Wars timeline. So we basically are getting filled in on what has transpired to those to these characters prior to those events here in these episodes of Clone Wars. So again, excellent episode, guys, and I did score this episode a 9.5 out of 10, specifically for those reasons. And there's lots to look forward to in this next episode. Maybe we will get more connections to Revenge of the Sith as well. Maybe we will get a look in at Anakin at this point in the timeline in animation. Maybe we will also get a look at Padme and Obi-Wan. I'm not sure. Obviously, they got to do something with the allotted time of about 26 minutes for the next episode. So I'm sure they are going to kind of wrap things up for this particular series. Not particularly covering all of the moments that were covered in Revenge of the Sith, but I'm sure they will touch on a lot of those moments, and I think we will peer back into some of the main characters of the saga again, which would be Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, the Emperor, and see basically what they are doing through the eyes of Clone Wars, guys. So excellent episode, guys. I would like to know what your thoughts and comments are in regards to this episode. Did you enjoy this episode? What was going through your mind when Order 66 was ordered? Did you get the chills like I did? What did you think of this particular episode, guys? I would like to know. Put those comments down below. And then also tomorrow I will be posting a review of the Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder pilot, as well as the Hoth Rebel Soldier. I will be reviewing both of these figures together in a video on Saturday. I hope to have that video released hopefully sometime by Saturday afternoon, early Sunday morning, and we'll get a look at both of these guys, and we will also put them in a diorama setting, specifically with the Rebel Soldier here. If you guys don't know, this particular figure comes with an additional face, so you can create different looks for this particular figure. It's basically made to army build this guy. I believe there are 18 different combinations that you can make with this guy. So you can build 18 different soldiers just with this one guy. There's also a small scarf right there that you can use, as well as the goggles there. So with the scarf, the goggles, and the additional face, which is a bearded face, you can build you an army of these guys. And we're going to get a look at them. I actually have 3 of these guys available now. I have 5 more of these guys on pre-order. So I expect to have about 8 to 10 of these guys in my collection when it's all said and done. But for that review, we will have at least 3 of these guys available and get a look at least at 3 different combinations that we can create with this guy. And then, of course, we'll also add Luke Skywalker there into the fold and get us a very cool Hoth diorama with these very, very cool 40th anniversary figures, guys. So you can look forward to that on the channel coming up this weekend for Star Wars Day, May the 4th. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are about the episode. Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost, may the Force be with you always.